Ebro en la mañana with the beautiful Laura Styles, Rosenberg, and the not yet sat down Denzel Curry. Give it up for him one time. Now, on your album, which is available now everywhere, Taboo, each spelling of each title of the song has the B's changed to 13s.
Giggity.
What does that mean?
B's turned to 13, man. That was like the hieroglyphics of it because I changed the I's into ones. And if you think about military time, 13 o'clock is 1 o'clock. And that's why I ended up changing it.
See, this is what watching too much Dragonball Z will do to
Hold
you.
on, and then you turn the S's to Z's.
Yeah.
And the I's to ones.
Yes.
Is that it?
That's pretty much it.
There's nothing deeper there.
I mean, it's on your perception of it. If y'all think there's nothing deep there, and then I guess it's not.
No, I'm saying it is deep, but then I thought maybe there was some other meaning that we weren't.
Basically, it's 13 tracks on it, but it's one album, so 13.
Is there an obsession? Is there 13 a meaningful number to you?
Yes, it is, because 13 is a representation of B, and then, as an unfortunate number, I use B as a connotation of like just being black in general. So that's what I use 13 as.
See, now
and then there's no 13.
I felt like I was
and
only
now you got
surface.
Ebro's attention. You had him in black.
There's no 13 floors in the hotel.
Which is crazy.
Jesus Christ, the 12 disciples was 13. Why everybody afraid of 13?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about how great a name for a song Clout Cobain is.
Oh, thank you.
That's pretty tight.
That is tight.
What's the explain the artistic direction behind the bloody
Laura loves
hands?
artistic
Well, if you want to
direction.
talk about artistic direction, well, when it comes down to the bloody hands and me just being bloody in general in a white background, it's talk about tainted purity because there's nobody on this earth that's perfect.
That's facts. Well, let's talk about imperfections. XXXTentacion.
Yeah.
Somebody you've spoke in depth about, and we've had our opinions of his life up here, and his fans have come for
Apparently,
us.
too many of them.
Well, I thought he had an a-hole past.
Bro, man was trying to change, bro. I know it's
He was trying to change.
Yeah,
That's what
I
people
know
say.
it because like I seen it.
Well, you know him.
Yeah, I know him. I seen all the stages that he went through in his life, and when he was entering his final part of his life, that's when he was like really, really changing, and I seen it.
That does seem to happen a lot, that when people are making the change is so often tragically when it seems like things happen.
Well, that's oftentimes why parents and elders suggest that you don't put yourself in a predicament in your life where you don't value life, right? And you don't play with death because you may not get that chance to turn it back around.
I mean, yeah. Wait, he was genuinely trying to change.
Yeah.
His album's really good. I've never met the man. I only know from what I hear in his music and the stories that I read.
I mean, me knowing him personally, like somebody like who, we lived together and, played football, made tracks together. It's just like, as a kid that was just fighting a lot of shit.
A lot of demons.
Yeah,
Childhood was tough.
pretty much. Yeah.
Were you happy to see him, his mom accept the award at the end?
Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to Miss Cleo. Like, I was really excited to see that X1, like, his fan base is strong as hell. Like, they really ride for that kid. They really ride for X.
On the music level, and you working with XXXTentacion, I felt like he was really talented musically.
Yeah, he's one of the most versatile people I know.
Talk about that, because you said you guys played football together, you made records together. Was that musically something that you guys just talked about growth and how you were going to grow?
I mean, we both was evolving, but he had a way of evolving and I had a way of evolving. There was things like, I wouldn't listen to when he would talk to me about stuff, and then there's stuff he wouldn't listen to because he doesn't like to take advice at all. He'll just rather let experience be his teacher. And that's why I had to like figure out just like experience be my teacher. But when it came down to it, like, we could pretty much do most of the same things.
But you sort of went off on your own. You sort of went off on your own, though, musically, right?
I mean, I did. When I was in Raider Clan, I went off on my own. But, like, that's one of the reasons why we admired each other, because he felt like I was versatile, and I felt like he was, like, extremely versatile. 1 minute he could be yelling and screaming on the track. Another minute he could be, like, go bar for bar, lyrical, like, you know what I mean? Then he could go R&B. It's just crazy. Then he could do some, not what I want to say country, but, just like, with the guitar.
Alternative.
Alternative, yes.
You think it's fair to say that everyone, it's always a conversation about like Atlanta and when's New York coming back and LA. Do you think it's fair to say that in this moment, Florida may be the it place for hip hop?
It is. No holds barred. It is the it place right now.
Like it's really been, it's such a high percentage of the new names that people are into are from Florida.
It got a bunch of weird personalities and raw ass music at the same time because that's what it is.
Well, Florida's weird.
Yeah, Florida has a lot of weird in it.
A lot of weirdos. Yeah. But
Well, no, but I mean, when I say weird, I'm saying it in a way because you have this convergence of culture in this place of whether it's, you have Native American and Black and slave and Caribbean and redneck country and
Spanish speaking.
it's crazy in South Florida. We really don't. It's like white people that kind of doesn't exist like that.
Explain what you're saying.
I'm saying that like you don't really see them like that. Maybe if you go to Davie or some
You mean
shit.
racist white people?
Well, you could meet a racist Spanish person, but you probably
sure.
won't meet a racist white person.
In South
Florida. I'm talking about white. I'm talking about, my name is John Rick. You know what I'm saying? John some shit, But
Well, there's white people speak all types of languages. Black people speak all types of languages. So the language doesn't necessarily mean.
But you could call somebody white down there and they could be completely like Spanish.
Right.
But they have white Spanish people.
Yeah.
He means, let's be real. You mean
They have white
kinda,
Cubans,
but you kind of
that
mean
is.
rednecks. Let's be
Yeah.
real.
You mean
Yeah,
rednecks.
we don't see it like that.
in South Florida.
Yeah, but if you go
South
to
Florida's basically like the Caribbean almost.
almost, it's like the South and the Caribbean mixed together.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a hybrid.
And a lot of the white people there are 85-year-old Jews who moved there from New York.
See, they're white. You see those.
I mean, yeah, not Ventura and shit, but like you don't really see them like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Would you also say because of that, it makes your music taste very different and vast?
Yeah, because we was all grew up on like Hot Boys, Juvenile, Trig, Trina, all that stuff. Like all the stuff that was happening in the South. But then you got people that come off the boat and just give you a whole bunch of culture mixed with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you got people that flying from New York because Miami's like the place to be for like
What?
New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Is that where
South Florida's vacation from Miami? You ain't got vacation from New York. You ain't got a passport. You going to Miami?
That's where you're going.
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of get everything. And then, in New York is not really too different from South Florida either.
The cultural mix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you got Jamaicans, you got Haitians, you got it all same out here.
Italians, the whole thing.
So many, I always find, and we've talked about this many times, but that's what I find so interesting about Florida is you have all that mix of stuff, but you also have, maybe it's the New York side, maybe that's giving us too much credit, but everyone seems to be able to rap too.
Yeah.
It's not like it's all just based on swag or,
Nah, because the way it was set up, like all of us were broke. All of us couldn't afford studios, and the people that could afford studios were garbage. So that's like that whole raw energy that you get, that you hear on records from myself and X and Ski and, Perp, everyone.
and more than that, too.
Like, it's all, like, everything that you hear down there is because, like, all of us didn't have, like, the resources to actually be in a studio like that, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't have the money to do it, And then you're living in a city where it's, like, they project, like, the fast lifestyle towards you, so you're going to do anything just so you can be able to live that fast life that everybody show you.
It's interesting too, because that the difficulty getting into the game, I feel like when you look at it over time, the harder it is to get in the game, the more work that needs to be done, I feel like is a great tool sharpener for artists. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like, it shouldn't, having an artist do that extra work and really the cream rises to the top, right? Like hearing you talk about it. Because you guys was really hungry. You was making sure that you was sharp because you wasn't getting the looks.
Exactly. Because, dude, when I was young, like, nobody wanted to rap with me. No one. Because they thought I wasn't good enough. And literally, I just worked on it on a microphone that I bought for $5 because that was all I had to my name, and, when I was 12, maybe 13. Until my mom, like, had enough money to buy me a microphone for my birthday. So really, it was like us thugging it.
Your mom always supported you when it came to your music?
I mean, she just thought it was a hobby.
Right,
She's really supportive now. She's like the most critical person when it comes down to like my music and like my interviews. My father, you know, because I lived with him from the like pretty much like the rest of my high school life. He was like the main one supporting. You know, he was like, "Oh, how your rap thing going?" He would take me to the shows. He would literally like sleep in the parking lot in his truck and just wait till the show's over so he could take me home and make sure I get home safe so I could go to school tomorrow.
That's dope.
Wow, that's dope.
Shout out to your dad.
Yeah.
So they watch all. Your mom watches all the interviews.
Yeah, sometimes she was like, "Yeah, you don't have to curse that much," and that's why I'm not really cursing right now.
She hits you with notes like, let's fix this,
She actually does.
this.
You know, bro, I'm telling you, it's not a bad thing because like, I appreciate that because I'd rather have a mother that's concerned about my career than not concerned at all. You know,
Yeah. How did that awareness for you? You're how old now?
23.
At 23 years old, hearing that level of awareness, not only about music and caring about culture and hip hop and rap, but then also hearing, you know, because often the generation that you come from, right? We was just talking about XXXTentacion is characterized by face tats, irresponsibility, lean sipping, popping pills, and all of this irresponsibility, right? But that's not what we're hearing you talk about. Even though we all, as 20-year-olds, did mad irresponsible shit.
Dude, everybody still does irresponsible shit. Period. You know what I mean? It's just not. Some of that shit is like not in the public eye.
I don't really get to.
Well, you're particularly wash.
Super. Once you're super
mean,
washed,
yeah.
Dad, you can't make no mistake.
But people do, by the way.
Absolutely.
You don't.
People do, man.
But there are people still out
A
here.
lot of people
wilding.
still make mistakes.
Yo, I left my house without my driver's license the other day. I panicked.
My thing is,
I was
it's like
super panicked.
it's like in this generation where everybody is like has a critical eye of certain people and expect them to do a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh yeah, I would have never did that. But most of these people that be talking shit about people doing something do the exact same shit, but they don't get crucified for it because
They're not in the public.
exactly.
That's the burden. You're
Exactly.
in the public eye.
When you're in the public eye, you have to uphold the image.
Or not.
Regardless.
You could choose not to and you fuck the world with it. You could scream fuck the world.
Yeah.
That may play out for you.
It could play out, but where does that get a lot of people?
Not usually not that far.
Yeah. I mean,
In the long run, that's
Like
not.
saying
not- the odds aren't in your favor.
It's like saying fuck everybody won't work in your favor, and being super preachy won't work in your favor. You got to have that balance between saying fuck the world and being preachy.
and would you also say admitting your mistakes along the way too?
Yeah, man, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. You know, all this shit, you know, it doesn't really bother me as much.
At this point, when you're at this phase of your career where it feels like you're critically acclaimed, people love your shows, right? Which album is this? This is how many now?
Shoot, well, there's
Depends how you look
nostalgic.
at it.
Let me think about it. What albums? Nostalgic, Imperial. This is my third album.
Third album. and
'Cause
then
I did
in between,
in
there,
between-
just tapes and collabs.
Yeah,
EP.
Like pretty much
EPs.
EPs, pretty much that bridge each story together. Like, so imagine these as like feature-length films. My albums are like feature-length films. And my EPs are just like, you know, mini episodes that's in between them.
But it feels like the trajectory you're on in building your brand, building your touring, I mean, you're in control of a lot of your business.
Yeah, you gotta own the masters, man.
How did you navigate that? Like, what was the hardest part of holding the line and making sure you were in control of your career?
Man, you know, not signing anything early, man. And, you know, for a long time, I was like, man, if I could do this on my own, I don't want to sign anything. I don't give a damn. But, you know, when it comes down to funds, you need, you know, that financial backing and stuff. Like, that could push it even more than what I was doing with my first two albums. So, excuse me. When it came down to me signing, it was like, you know, just figure out what you want and then you will get it. And then I watched this documentary on NWA and like Dr. Dre and stuff like that. And Suge Knight said something that really stood out to me. And that was like, oh yeah, y'all could keep whatever money y'all got left from such and such or whatever, but just give me the masters and I'll be straight. And I was like, well. And then as soon as I seen the aftermath of him owning the masters, I understood the game and I understood what I should do and how should I take my career if I want to keep having fun making music and satisfy the people and not change unless I say so. So when it came down to me meeting up with all these labels, and then it was like, yeah, we got this person, we could do this for you, we give you this much money, we could do this, that, and the third. And I was like, fool, it's all cool and all, but I just want my masters, bro, and we'll be square, we'll be straight. None of them didn't want to give it up. So that's why I sided with Loma, and they was the only ones that was willing to be like, all right, we'll give you this much money.
And that's Loma Vista.
Yeah, we'll give you this much money, and, here's your, you could keep your masters. We don't want them. You could have them.
So they make their money up front on sales, and you get to keep everything.
Yes. Just keep my shit.
Good for you.
And what was the hardest part about getting, continuing to work? Because, obviously what was the hardest part about getting the awareness up and getting your name out and creating relationships? Like because I know that's
me actually messing with people, because most people are, I'm going to be real, though. Like, all these motherfuckers ain't shit. I'm going to be so real, though. Like, not saying it as in, like, fuck everybody. I'm just saying, like, people just ain't shit. Certain people just ain't shit. And it's just like an image they uphold because they don't want to work with you when they think you don't got anything. But once they see you're booming, that's when they want to work with you. That's the name of the game, and I know that's how it's supposed to be played and whatnot, but that ain't shit, bro, because, like, especially if I support you and without you being big or whatever, just because I like the music. And it's not like that for a lot of people. Certain people it is, like, that's what it is. On my hand, I could count how many friends I have in this game, and I don't really have too many. But how I navigate through it, I just don't give a fuck about what they do. I got to give a fuck about what I do. And if that's, like, building myself, as in, like, really focusing on what Denzel wants and what Denzel needs and how should I, like, be selfish in certain ways and how I should be selfless in certain ways, that's what it is. And that's what gets me to make records like this, and just pretty much like being the same person I am, just having fun with what I'm doing, because I've been doing it since day one, and I don't want none of that to change.
Were you taken aback by the passing of Mac Miller?
Yeah, I mean, Mac Miller was a good dude, actually. We met like hella times.
Talk about someone who, like, among the few people who just fucked with people to fuck with them, like if he liked someone's music.
Yeah, nah, Mac Miller, he reached out to me before he passed, and he was talking about congratulations on this album. He was telling me congratulations.
Wow.
And he was like, you deserve it. And I was like, yo, thank you, man, And me and his video came out the same day, the one where he's in the box and Cloud Cobain. They both aired the same day. And, I watched his video, he watched my video. And we always had a respect for each other. I always had a respect for Mac, because Mac has always been a good dude. Or no matter where I seen him at, he was always smiling, always chilling, And that's what I liked about the dude, especially when we all had a show together. It was me, Joey Badass, Nick Caution, who else? Yeah. And Gold Link was there, Damo Genesis from Odd Future, and Mac.
It was a dope show. Where was that?
It was like, we had to share the same venue, which was crazy. It was the World Domination Tour, which was the tour I was on. And it was Good AM?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was that tour, which was Mac's tour. And it kind of blended. And that was a dope little...
It was like one show was earlier, one show was later type.
No, like, we was literally going back to back.
Oh, wow.
Like, their openers, me as an opener, going back to back. And then Joey and Mac being the main act. Even Danny Brown was at that show. I remember.
Wow.
Shit. That's a dope show.
Yeah. It was great. It was really great.
You have a track on here called Perks, track 11.
Word.
Right now we're dealing with an opioid crisis in the country, and we all come from generations that dealt with different type of drugs, whether it was crack or, alcoholism or whatever, people trying to cope with reality that they was dealing with. Right now it's the opioid crisis, right, where you have people addicted to all of that.
Like pills.
Lean, all that's opioids, right?
Yeah.
What's this song about?
I don't fuck with the perks, B. That's basically what the whole song is about. I just don't fuck with drugs. Like, don't get me wrong. I used to do drugs back in the day. Not a drug addict. I used to do like,
For fun. Got
Like
recreation.
Yeah,
you
like-
experimented.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
like acid, shrooms, and just acid and shrooms and weed. It's pretty much
Mind expander kind of drugs.
yeah.
And then when did you decide like you weren't going to be doing all this other shit, which has become such commonplace to do?
Well, I mean, I stopped doing acid in 2014.
Oh, so you was doing acid. You was like,
Yeah, I was stamping up, bro. Stamped, just like a
Stamp.
postman. Just
Ready.
postal service.
yep, just
Day
stamped
in,
up,
day out?
bro. I don't know, man. Damn, it's crazy.
Next day air?
Pretty much. Yeah, just
That's a lot.
split.
I had some friends like that in high school.
Nah, but I wasn't like that. Shit would have made me too crazy if I would have kept taking this shit.
Yeah.
What made you stop?
I would have became crazy like my homies. You
So
know.
you saw the effect that it had on your friends, and you're like, yeah, this can't. I'm done with this.
Nah, it was really because that guy sitting in that chair right there, he was like, nigga, you gotta stop this shit.
Okay.
And I was like, shit. All right.
You weren't thrilled about it at the time.
I was just like, all right. Then I did shrooms and I was like, I fucking hate / love this thing.
Because it could go good or go bad.
Yeah, it could go either way it go. I could be super emotional, be like, I love the trees. Or I could be like, oh, I seen that nigga vibe. I ain't with that nigga no more. I'm good. That was my dog yesterday, but today, I don't know you, boy.
Saw your energy.
I seen your
real
energy. That shit was purple. I'm good. I'm not with you right now. I feel it.
Yeah.
I can,
And so at this point in the game of your life, now you're free and clear. Like you see clearly that path is not.
yeah, it's not the path I want to take. Shrooms is cool. Acid, it was cool for what it was at the time, but I don't take the shit no more. I don't overdo it, and I never got the chance to overdo it. Thank you.
Thanks to that guy.
Thanks to that guy.
Does he have a name? You want to shout him out?
He goes by the name of Mark. So shout out to Mark for like being the voice of reason and being like, nigga, stop that shit.
Everyone needs that guy.
You know it's
Friend,
crazy? When I first started smoking weed, he snitched on me. He snitched on me to my older brother. He snitched on me. He was like, you smoking weed now? And I was like, yeah, don't tell nobody. And then he was like, Mook, dog, this nigga smoking weed, dog. I don't know. And I'm like, and then, bro, I'm like,
Wait, how you was what? He said you
dude,
was
I was
17.
18. I was 18.
You playing
bro.
football at the time?
No, because it was like on the block, everybody knew me as goofy ass Denny. Like, I ain't ashamed to admit it. I'm goofy, shit. But like, everybody was like, even
You
my
have a
home.
Dragonball Z shirt on.
So I don't give a damn. Shit. God made me.
That's right. We
Unique
like you for it.
me. You know what I'm saying? But
So when you
on
tried
the
weed,
block-
people were like, oh my God, Denny's trying weed.
No, it wasn't even that. It was like, they was like, boy, Denzel, I catch your ass with a blunt, boy, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I'm like, as soon as I hit 18, they caught me with a blunt. It was like, damn, I can't beat your ass because you smoking with the right niggas. That's all it was. They couldn't like see it. But 5 years of doing that shit, it was all right.
What about drinking?
Drinking, I mean, come on, bro. Like New Year's, you got to get lit, right?
If that's your thing, yeah.
That was the thing,
But you're not- but you're
drinking is like a back and forth. I don't like being drunk because when I get drunk, it's funny as shit. I did a show and I got drunk like back in 2016. Yeah, you remember that show? That show was funny as hell for me.
What
though.
happened?
Well, it happened like this, man. When Hennessy and Denzel mix, it's just a whole nother energy that pops up. See, nigga, I was killing the set. I was murdering that hoe. You know what I'm saying? I was murdering it.
And then
I was rolling on the floor, laughing like a motherfucker, just rolling on the floor. It was during a song where everybody supposed to mosh, and I don't say no lyrics, but I was rolling on the floor laughing. Then I played this song called Threats, and I got this girl on stage and shit. And then we was all turning up and shit, and I was like super drunk. I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then I was like, hey, everybody, hey. He was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna fuck this bitch tonight. And everybody was like, yeah. So still drunk, the girl got mad and she was like, "You really think you're gonna fuck me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then it happened. So it was like, it's a true story. I swear to God.
Confidence. Denzel, man, it seems like, when you're talking about people coping with reality, we do a lot of interviews where people talk about their recreational drugs, right? And I think what I'm hearing from you is you don't get high to cope with reality. And I think that's always the line that you got that you're listening for. At least I'm listening for.
Well, yeah, I was happy just to hear him go, I got drunk at a show. What year was that? 2016? There are people that are just drunk
day.
at show. That's what
they come in here in the morning smell like
alcohol. They're drunk when they get here.
Because they're trying to cope with everything that they're dealing with fame or, fear,
I don't know. They need to find another outlet. That's all I'm saying. I found another outlet that just works for me, and that was martial arts. So that way, if I'm mad, I could punch a bag and not kill myself over it. I'll just make myself more stronger and better, faster.
That's really been a saving grace for you, is the martial arts.
Yeah.
Help with the depression, everything.
Everything. Stay active.
What type of martial arts do you do?
There's Muay Thai. There's just a mixture between Taekwondo and Shaolin Kung Fu, and then you have Jiu-Jitsu, and then also Muay Thai.
Knees. Your knee game is strong.
Knee game, elbow game.
Knee game.
Mainly my kick game. Them shits, when you hit the pads, bro, it sound like the whole shit you hear the whole room.
Kick game.
Pah! It's crazy.
Did you watch Conor and Khabib on?
Oh, yes. Yes, bro. And somebody owed me, and Destin, if you're listening, you still mad that you owe me $10.
Who was Dustin going for?
$10. He was going for Conor, boy. We was in Toronto. I was like, I ain't missing this fight. No.
So what was your reaction to the whole thing, watching the whole thing play out afterwards?
Hard. Shit was
you
hard.
felt Khabib, right? You felt it.
Yo, I was like, look, come on. If somebody threw a goddamn dolly at my van, injured some of my niggas, oh no, bro. You gotta run it. You gotta run these hands.
Yeah.
You gotta run that fade today. Forget that, dude. I'm telling you. And then I'm telling Destin, it was like we had 2 shows in Toronto because the venue was sold out for both nights and whatever, but it was a small venue, so they had to split it up. So the night before, we seeing everybody we finna watch the UFC fight, da-da-da. So I told Destin, I was like, who you going for? He was like, man, I'm going for Conor. And I was like, I don't know, boy. That boy beat, man. That nigga's, he fire. And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, look, it could go like this. If Conor keeps him standing up, Conor's gonna win. If Khabib get him to that ground, it's over. Because everybody know Conor has no ground game whatsoever. If you ever seen any of his fights, a lot of them, he wins by standing up. But once he's on the ground, he loses. That's where
Khabib
he takes the most damage.
Him a few times too.
Yeah. That's when I figured out he had hands too. I was like, oh shit.
I mean, if you watch
Khabib could fight him standing up too. I didn't realize how fast his hands was,
If you watch McGregor-Diaz too, that's how Conor beats Diaz. He turns into a straight boxing match. You don't want a boxing match with Conor unless you're Floyd Mayweather.
Yo.
But short of that, you don't want to box with him. And
yeah, but Nate Diaz, he's tight.
Super tight.
He's tight because he was the first one, I could say he's the first one to really beat Conor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when Conor got him the second time, it's because he kept him up. But how crazy is Khabib's ground game, though?
Yo, his ground game is crazy, yo. He was
frustrating
his
it looks to have your legs crossed like that?
He had his legs crossed. He had him literally sitting, and then he started dropping bombs on his head. I was like, oh, yes. So, man, what's crazy was I watched all the prelims before the main event because I had to go on stage. So I told
Derek Lewis.
I told a friend of mine, look, I bought the fight on my phone just so you could watch it to let me know. I'm looking at the corner of my eye. Let me know what's happening right now. So I'm like, okay, what's happening? All you see is, oh. All you see is, oh. All you see is, oh. And then Trunks, he looked at me. He was like, I was like, no. I owe this nigga Destin $10. I was like, no, it can't be. So when it came down to one of the breaks in my set, I went out. I was like, so what happened? It was like, oh, boy, that boy Khabib won. And I was like, wait a minute, what? So the whole venue, they knew about the fight because they were showing it upstairs. So when I went back on my break and I was like, well, seems like somebody backstage owed me $10.
$10.
Because that boy McGregor just lost. And then when I seen him get jumped, I was like, ooh, this is real beef. Now, this is what I wanted to see.
It's real.
Oh, it's real.
Real.
Like, it's real.
You hear a lot of talk about beef and it's not real. That was the
No,
definition
that was
of
real.
It's real.
Throw a dolly at my van. Watch what happens.
If you
That
jump
came over
at
the
someone with
outside.
both
Dude,
hands,
Dude jumped over a gate just to split Connor. I was like, oh,
it was crazy.
this is real right now.
Yo, you jumped out into the crowd barefoot.
And
both feet-
kick first.
Kick first. The
Kick
feet
first.
Stomped. He was a stomp, like a double stomp. It was
Kick
crazy.
first. He's raw.
Insane.
Khabib, yeah, no,
He's
I'm a
raw.
fan. Yo, how did you feel about Vic Mensa's opinion of, or his freestyle and his apology and?
Bro, it's stupid, dude. Like, if that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But let the dead be the dead, bro. Just let it be. You should have said it when he was alive.
But does anybody know what Vic actually said?
In the freestyle.
Yeah.
What did he say?
I don't
Well,
think
nobody
nobody
knows.
knows.
Nobody
It's
knows.
in the
I just
he
hear it.
apologized to his mom because he said something in the freestyle while
She was-
XXX mom
she was
was
present.
at the BET Awards.
But remember, he
Yeah, but
recorded it
that's-
separately and
But
they
yeah,
aired
that,
it there.
right. He
Yeah.
wasn't there, so they
I
record
just
those
think
ahead
if
of
he
time.
really had a genuine problem, he should have voiced it when, when X was alive. That's when mainly everybody was voicing their opinion about X. Simple.
His name is Denzel Curry. He's got a new project out. You should go pick it up. It goes by the name of Taboo. 13 records. It's a pleasure to talk to you again, sir.
Oh, already. It's
We should
always a
play
pleasure.
Cloud Cobain because that's the main single right now.
It is the main single.
So let's play it.
That bit gonna go platinum.
Already?
That bit gonna go platinum.
It's close.
Putting it out there early.
Hell yeah.
Is it gold?
I don't know.
I think it will be.
He has fade.
Will be.
Put it out there.
Nah, it's just gonna go straight to platinum.
Never seen that before.
I'm trying to make a diamond record and just let that be.
Do it.
You know what I mean?
Denzel Curry, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for him one time.
Thank you, man.